Welcome to Thoughts on Thursday. It's Reverend Miller.
And Stuart Holmes.
As we approach the third Sunday after Pentecost and begin to finish up June worship, today is an exciting day because someone has turned 75 years old today. Happy birthday, Stuart Holmes. You thought I wasn't going to say something? Just so you know, I don't think you look a day over 72. So, Stuart's going to talk about the Sunday worship music, and we have a wonderful worship service. June's a busy time. We have 2 more Sundays of the choir. June 16th will be our Music Sunday, we call it, and then June 23rd will be our Graduation Sunday. So, a wonderful time of worship, but we're also preparing for summer. And so that's what I'm going to talk a little bit about. In summer, the choir's off, a little less formal.
Yeah.
And so what we do is we do a pickup choir. So you come at 9:30 on Sunday, you rehearse a selection that Stuart has beautifully picked out. He promises it to be easier than maybe some of the other selections. And then we sing it for the worship service. And I usually participate. It's just a fun time. If you felt like you never could sing in the choir, this is your opportunity to pick up choir. And then normally what we do is, people are busy, but we also, since it's a less formal worship, we like to get participation, and we usually have hymn selections and we get suggestions. And we've done many different things. We did gospel selections. Last year we did the top song sung from 25 years of having this hymnal, and we've done hymns, all hymns that aren't in our hymnal. We've done that one summer. This summer, what we thought, and I always preface that Stuart's and my sense of fun might be different than yours. We're going to take, for the middle hymn, a selection, a children's hymn. So any children's hymn you love to sing, you can suggest it, you can email me, and we'll try to include that. And it's interesting, these, what we call children's hymns, actually, in fact, a lot of people don't realize this, but the hymn, All Things Bright and Beautiful, is considered a children's hymn. It was written for children, one of my favorites. But Father Abraham is a fun one. Praise ye the Lord we did. And so, middle hymn is going to be a children's hymn, and we're taking suggestions for that. The other 2 hymns, what we're going to do is we're going to sing out of what we call the Psalter. And that's a name that not everyone may know, but in our hymnal, in most Reformed hymnals, Presbyterian hymnals, there's a selection of hymns based solely on psalms. The other hymns are called topical. And so if you are a Reformed Presbyterian, which is a Scottish Presbyterian, they don't think you should use the organ, and they only sing out of psalms. And so we're going to do that. And so in the Calvinistic tradition, for the longest time, all they sang was psalms. And if you go to a Christian Reformed church, they used to have the Psalter. And that was all hymn. So we're taking suggestions from that, and that's hymn number 158 to 258.
Oh, yeah.
That's the, and so there's several different ones. A beautiful one we've sang quite a few times is From All That Dwell Below the Skies, hymn number 229 by Isaac Watts, which is interesting because Isaac Watts is one of the forerunners of the modern hymn. And his father was a minister, and he thought that all these psalms were a little dodgy, and so he wanted to bring more light to them. And that one happens to fall in the Psalter because it follows the psalm pretty directly. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're doing. If you want to make a suggestion for a children's hymn or from a hymn selection, let me know, give me an email, and I think it'll be a nice part of our summer worship.
While you were doing that, I'm looking up, I should mention this one psalm, but maybe I'll talk a little bit about the different kinds of psalms. Sometimes you have a psalm that is purely response. So the congregation would sing something like, "Oh, Lord, you are my God, I trust in you," whatever the key is. And then we would have a soloist sing the verse in kind of a plain chant style. So that would be one style, and that's basically verse and response.
Yeah.
We have other hymns that the congregation may not know, but one of my favorite is "How Lovely, Lord, is Your Abiding Place." So that's a typical hymn style with just following along, much the way you would have the "O God, Our Help." And then you would have other types of psalms that are basically written in a style that it could be echo response.
Yeah.
So those are that's what I wasn't planning on saying that.
But we have all those in our hymnal. If you find a psalm outside of the hymnal, we can always look at that also. And from my understanding, back in the day when they would sing these psalms, they would always have, prior to worship, about 10 minutes where the music minister would lead those songs so that people would know how to sing them in case they didn't.
And we will probably do that at a couple times this summer.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing for the summer. We're finishing up June. It'll be a wonderful time of worship, and we look forward to July and then August. Those are my thoughts, Stuart. Pretty big ones.
Yeah, how am I going to follow
So,
that?
what kind of thoughts does a 75-year-old have? That's what I want to know.
Slow. Slow thoughts. The choir today, this Sunday, is going to be doing a wonderful little tiny anthem called "Leaning on the Lord." It was written by Wendell Wallum, who was at Morehouse College, very active in church music, very active in the spirituals and gospel music of the Black church. I met Wendell at Montreat back in 1986 or early 80s, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. And he was the director of the adult choir.
Okay.
And we're all sitting there, and this man, who at that point must have been close to what I am, kind of came out on stage, and we said, "Oh, wow." And then all of a sudden, boom, he hit it, and we were off and running, and to try to follow him was amazing. Second day, this was a week-long conference, second day he comes up and he says, "I've just written a little ditty for the choir called 'I'm a-Leanin' on the Lord.'" And he wrote 3 verses for it, and the choir sang it. It's never been published, but I have it. Quickly asked him for a copy of his manuscript, and I reduced it to legible writing. So the choir's going to sing that this Sunday.
Interesting.
And
You're not going to see that in other churches then?
no. So that's wonderful. The prelude music, the music today on the organ is going to be by Wendell Wallum, and what I started out this taping with was just the very simple which is the basis for a chaconne, which some people may call a passacaglia. There are various definitions. The most familiar one for audiences outside of the church is the canon in D, Pachelbel. So I'm playing a chaconne for the prelude, and then a nice little ditty for the postlude.
A lot of ditties, huh?
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of ditties.
It's a peppy June 9th.
Yeah,
Perfect.
it is.
All
So,
right.
That's
Those
it.
are our thoughts. We hope to see you on the third Sunday after
Pentecost.
Pentecost. Thank you. I almost said Epiphany. Pentecost. This Sunday, either in person or on Zoom and Facebook. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.
Ooh.
Play us out.
That's my cue.
Yep.
I have to play you out. That can't be right. I'm getting to it. Just a minute.
No worries.
Oh,
It's your
sure.
birthday. We'll give you a little leeway.
We're just going to do anything.
All right.
Just forget it.